Hello, welcome Cyclone fanatics. Chris Williams out here at the beautiful Veenker Country Club. We're out at the driving range today with Chris Seaboch. This is the first of some golf lessons he's going to give me. Chris couldn't have picked a better day for this, and I'm ready to shave off some strokes, man. It's been a long couple of years.
Yeah, if you can promise me weather like this for every lesson of ours, I'll give you a lesson every day for the rest of our lives.
Sounds like a plan.
It's just perfect out here. There's no wind. It's a little warm, but not like it has been anyway. It's very tolerable. So
it's perfect until I start tearing up your country club out here.
Well, it's grass and it grows back. That's all you have to remember. It'll always grow back. So what we're going to do today, Cyclone fanatics, is just kind of go over a few key elements with Chris's game. I've spent a little bit of time with him, and he'll downplay his swing and tell you that it's really, really bad, but in all honesty, it's really not all that bad. He does a few things that you'll see a lot of people that shoot 85 to 95 to 100 do, a couple of simple mistakes and things like that, but nothing that we're not going to be able to fix out. And you know, he's just like anybody else. We just hammer the fundamentals into people, and if you can do fundamentals properly, mixed in with your own personality of things, most of the time you're going to be okay, and you can get away with a lot of things.
Looking forward to it. First things first is my grip, right?
Yep, we're going to take a look at his grip the way he likes to do it right now, because almost 90% of the time, if you miss-hit a shot on the golf course, it's due to something you've done before you've even taken a swing, okay?
Really?
You're either holding on to the club wrong, you're standing wrong, you're aiming in the wrong spot. Almost all the problems, all errant shots can be traced back to something that we've done before we've taken our swing, and we've set up wrong, and then in our swing we have to compensate for that mistake, and that's where things really go wrong. When we're compounding two wrongs, they definitely don't make a right out here on the golf course. So it all starts with the grip. If you're not holding the club on properly, you're just not going to have any success. And one of the areas that Chris said he wants to really improve in is distance. He's lost a lot of distance over the years. His accuracy's probably suspect a little bit too, and really just his general overall ball striking is contact. He's not making solid contact anymore. And most of the time, contact issues can be helped with the grip a lot of times. Your alignment and your aiming and where the ball goes is going to be kind of setup stuff. But what we're going to key on right now is just the grip. So if you do me a favor there right now and just kind of hold your hands on the club there. For our fans out there, I'm going to kind of zoom in real quick and take a look at. So as you can see, fanatics, one of the things that I'm looking at here that we're going to work on is how you can really see the inside of his arms right here. And we're lucky that he's been out in the sun some, and you can kind of see the tan and stuff, because you can see how nice and light the inside of his arms are instead of the outside of them. And that's one of the things we're going to do. You can relax for a second, but one of the things that he does is he grips his club so that his palm is kind of underneath the club. And you can see some shade on mine there too, where it's a little darker and a little lighter. What we'd really like to see is, instead of that palm being under the club, we'd really like to get it so we can't see much of that light colored skin, and we're seeing the dark colored skin there. Now, if you go ahead and do that, another thing that's going to do for us is now all of a sudden, instead of not being able to see any of his knuckles, he can turn his hand over and see a couple of these knuckles here, where he can see those first two knuckles on that left hand. As we talked about, from here you probably saw that he's got a tight lies on his grip right here. And I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for his left thumb to be on this side of the tight lies, and his right thumb to be on the other side. So you can't see that other thumb because it's hidden by that hand, but he's got both of his thumbs on each side of the shaft. Another good way to look at it is, if he kind of opened his palms up, both of his palms would be facing in towards his body and not out away from him, from having those clubs on underneath there. So the palms are going into your body. You can see two of those knuckles down there, or if you wear a glove, you can see a little bit of the label, okay? If that hand's underneath, you can't see that label. If it's over on the top, you can see a little bit of that label. Now, be honest with your fans out there. How does that feel?
Awful.
It feels awful, that's right. And that's the same answer that I get from about 99 out of 100 people who make this change. It feels awful, it's not comfortable, and that's basically why we don't do it. A lot of people have gone through lessons or things like that, and because it's not necessarily comfortable, they go back to their old way because that's what's comfortable to them. But to really play at the top of your game and to really improve, you've got to work on the grip first. If there's only one thing that he paid attention to out of all the lesson stuff we do, this would be the key thing. And it's going to take, 2 weeks, 3 weeks kind of for you to get used to it. That's typical, but what'll happen today is that it feels absolutely horrible, his first shot. I know he probably isn't sure if he's even going to hit the ball. He might whiff it, he might do this or that. And you know what? People do hit all kinds of crazy shots at first when they do this. But as they stick with it, it gets more comfortable. It gets to feeling a little bit better. And where today maybe it might take you 25 balls for it to feel a little bit better, if you stick with it, maybe next week it only takes you 10 shots where it feels better. In 3 months, it takes you 1 ball where it feels better. And I got news for you. I've been playing for, 30 years almost, 28 years. It's still not comfortable for me, okay? Mm-hmm. If I stood here and I go through to hit my shot, this isn't what's comfortable, but it's the uncomfortable that I look for to know that I'm doing it right and know that things are going to be okay for me. So if it's a change that you need to make, just stick with it the best you can. Don't give up after a week or 10 days. Give it a month. Your shots will improve by the end of that month, without a doubt. So let's see you just hit a couple of shots right here before we talk about our next item. Okay, that'll be good for a second here.
All right.
So you hit the ball.
Yeah.
Actually hit it
Those are
fairly okay for those first 2 especially.
They're the best 2 shots I've hit today, probably.
Best 2 shots he's hit today. We hit a few just to warm up a little bit. And yeah, even though the grip doesn't feel well, I can promise you that as bad as the grip feels, when you start hitting better shots, it'll feel better a lot faster.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Well, it almost seemed painful the first time I swung it. It didn't that time.
Yeah, as you get used to it. One thing that I didn't mention to our fanatics out there is a really light grip pressure, okay? You want to hold on to the club as light as you possibly can. And anytime we're making a change, one of the things we like to do is we have uncertainty, okay? We don't want to do bad. We don't want to hit bad shots. So the first thing we do is we really grip on tight here and we flex these muscles. And that just adds tension all the way through our shoulders, through our arms, through our back. Everything tightens up. And then it's really tough to hit bad shots. So I think he probably was a little bit more used to the grip than earlier even, so he was able to relax a little bit more, which allowed you to swing just a little bit more freely.